To get started with the Oanda API, you first need to create an account on the Oanda website. This will provide you with access to the Oanda platform and the ability to generate an API token. Once you have created your account, navigate to the My Account section and select the API tab. Here you will find the option to generate a new API token. The API token is used to authenticate your API requests and ensure that only authorized applications can access your account data. When generating the API token, you will be prompted to select the level of access you want to grant to the token. This can include permissions such as reading account information, executing trades, and managing orders. After generating the API token, you can use it to make API requests to the Oanda platform. The Oanda API uses a RESTful architecture, which means that you can use standard HTTP requests to interact with the API. The API endpoint URL will depend on the specific request you are making, but it will typically be in the format of HTTPS. api-fxtrade.oanda.com. To make an API request, you will need to include the API token in the request header. This is typically done by including an authorization header with the value bearer your _API_ token. You will also need to specify the request method, such as GET or POST, and any required parameters or data. One of the key concepts to understand when working with the Oanda API is the concept of environments. Oanda provides two environments, a live environment and a practice environment. The practice environment allows you to test your API requests without risking real money, while the live environment is used for actual trading. Best practices for working with the Oanda API include using secure authentication methods, such as HTTPS, and handling errors and exceptions properly. You should also be aware of the API usage limits and ensure that your application complies with these limits to avoid having your API access revoked. In terms of practical examples, you can use the Oanda API to retrieve account information, such as account balances and open positions. You can also use the API to execute trades, manage orders, and retrieve historical price data. For example, you can use the API to retrieve the current price of a currency pair by making a GET request to the prices endpoint. Overall, getting started with the Oanda API requires creating an account, generating an API token, and understanding the API endpoint URL and request methods. By following best practices and using the API to retrieve and manipulate data, you can build powerful trading applications and automate your trading strategies.